Hey guys, Jason back for another statue review. Check me out on YouTube, Prime Collectibles, or Instagram, prime.collectibles. Okay, so today I have another statue that I got in a while ago, but just haven't had a chance to unbox and review yet. He's a fairly rare piece, sort of a niche character that not everybody is familiar with or into, but I saw the Justice League Dark animated show on I guess it was Netflix. I can't remember what it was a while back now, and I got really into the Justice League Dark characters. So I pre-ordered Zatanna at that time, and then figured, okay, well, I'm gonna have to go back and get the ones that I've missed from Prime One. So I have Swamp Thing, which will be reviewed soon, and today we have the amazing Deadman. So here is the box, and it's a big box, of course. It's a 1/3 scale piece by Prime One. Here's the shipper, and here's the packaging that he came in, and surprisingly it's just one big package. Usually a lot of these 1/3 scale pieces are actually two boxes, but this came all in one. This is something that I haven't seen with Prime One, or maybe it's just been a long time since I've seen this. But maybe because it's a bit of an older piece, it kind of has this sort of like this stacked, it's not really, I guess it's a type of styrofoam maybe, but it's different than what I've normally seen. It's kind of, I've seen this with customs more than I've seen it with licensed pieces, but it's interesting. I'm not sure why they chose to go with this, but everything showed up safely, so no complaints. As you can see, I've got number 25. I didn't even realize that. 350, which is the EX edition size. EX comes with a second portrait, which I'll show you when we get to the statue. So, without further ado, here is Prime One's Deadman. And he is pretty awesome. For those of you not familiar with the Deadman character, and I have to be honest, I'm not well versed with his background story, but I do know that he died, and since dying, somehow he was imbued with the ability to possess other people. That's sort of his thing. As you can see here, his name, Boston Brand, is on the tombstone that he's standing over. And in typical Prime One fashion, he is executed extremely well. Just sculpted beautifully. You know, the character in the comics, I can imagine it must have been tough to figure out how to show him in statue form, because you see all of these sort of strands in his body. Almost looks like musculature, but under the skin, the actual strands of muscles. From what I remember, that is not present in the comic books. It's certainly not in the animation. It would be a nightmare to animate all that. But I think the artist here took some liberties. It might even be Bermejo that designed this version of Deadman, if I'm not mistaken. It certainly has his look. But you can see the statue, it almost has that kind of... To me, it reminds me of a mixture of... those exhibitions where you can kind of see people with their, dead cadavers with their bodies kind of half opened up, doing things like playing cards or whatever it is, and you can see the different pieces of their anatomy, skeletal structure, musculature, and all of that preserved. It looks like a mixture of that and the outfit that Dracula has on, his armor in Bram Stoker's Dracula, and I think that is just unreal. Like, it's just a really, really cool look. Again, Deadman isn't my favorite character, but he's a part of the Justice League Dark, so I needed to have him. But seeing this statue in person just makes me so happy that I ordered it. So let's just go from the base up. The base, like most Prime One statues, is relatively, I don't want to say uninteresting, the base I mean here, but it's quite gray, meant to look like stone. Like a tombstone or something, and it's well done, and I understand why Prime One keeps the actual sub base here relatively similar in color, or conformed in color. Is that a term? Conformed in color. It, there's conformity in the colors. Whatever. Anyways, you get what I'm saying. Uh, because the focal point of these statues is obviously usually the upper part of the base and then into the statue itself. So I get it, and no complaints here. The skulls along the base are really, really great. Kind of reminds me a little bit of the skulls in the Deathstroke statue that I have. They're just really done well. You can see the sort of speckling in the skull itself. You can't tell, but this is textured along here, so it actually even feels as if it were just bone. Awesome. Somebody's rib cage and spine, well, probably his. I'm not sure why there's two skulls though. One's probably his, one's somebody else's, I'm not sure. But anyway, bones are done really, really well. I saw another reviewer who said that his rib cage came broken. Mine seems to be totally fine. And then you get up into him himself, and as you can see, it's just like a mixture of strands of muscle split apart by this sort of almost looks like a red leathery texture. That's the best way I can describe it. It almost, I mean, it could even look like skin, like skin that is sort of very dry, because this looks like a knee. It really does look kind of like a knee, but then you get up into here, and it wouldn't be natural for normal skin to have this sort of texture. So leather, I mean, I guess technically leather is hide, right? So whatever it is, it's freaking awesome, and it really, really suits the character. The anatomy is just done so well. Oh man, I love that. I love how the muscles bend and like fold over each other like they do in real anatomy. Very, very cool. I mean, this could almost be a showcase statue in itself in an anatomy class, just so people can kind of look through. I mean, it's not exact, but it's certainly pretty close to real anatomy. You can see the different muscle groups and how they, again, fold over each other and pull into each other. Very cool. The abs with his big trademark D on his stomach. And then we go up into his skin, obviously gray because he's dead, and really well done. There's a bit of a gap here on mine, but I mean, it's very subtle. It's funny, I just reviewed another piece that had that same gap. I think it was the Bermejo Joker. His portrait is just awesome. I don't know if you can tell, but the eyes have a really nice sort of gray gloss to them that's very different than his skin, which has more of kind of like a whitish gray undertone, and is far more textured, obviously. From the side, look at that. You can see where skin has been decaying away, and you can still sort of see the tendons underneath, holding the jaw in place. It looks like a mixture of a skull and well, it looks like a corpse. It looks like, I was gonna say it looks like a mixture of skull and dead skin. Well, yeah, that's what a corpse is. So beautiful. This is nice detail in the back. Look at that. His spine is exposed. Oh, that's so cool. Wow. Let's just get a bigger look, or a broader look, I should say, from the back. Really nice. Very, very impressive in person. All of these 1/3 scale statues, you can't tell in a video just how impressive they are, but when you're in front of them, you're like, damn, this is huge. And it just has so much presence, and this guy is no exception. The pose is good. I mean, it's not as dynamic as others, but it's a cool pose. It works for the character, and it's going to stand out. Like this is really going to pop in my collection when I finally have the space to put all these guys up beside each other. That pop of red, it's a very, very different, unique statue, and I'm really happy to have it in my collection. I don't really have any complaints, to be honest, other than the fact that he's not a character that I love, so he would never be a top 10 in my collection statue, but he's probably one that I don't see myself getting rid of anytime soon. He's just something, there's something special about him. So here's the other portrait that he comes with. Really cool as well. You can see the gloss of the eyes a little bit better here. Very nice portrait as well, like really well done. But I feel like that this portrait suits his character more from what I know of it from the comics and of the from the animated show. Very cool. Obviously, this also came with a ton of marketing material, some pieces that are a few years old now, just because, like I said, I mean, this was released maybe a year and a half ago now, I think. And this is something interesting as well. I don't remember ever getting these with something like this with any of my other Prime 1 statues, but it's a little small art print that's signed, and I don't know who that's signed by. I don't know whose signature that is. It'd be awesome if it was Bermejo, but I doubt it. Anyways, there it is. That wraps up my review of Prime 1 Collectibles 1/3 scale Deadman from the Justice League Dark collection. Enjoyed? Be sure to like and subscribe if you haven't already, and have a good one, guys.